Excuse me, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us here today. We're going to be talking over here, so you're looking the other way. My name's Aaron Miller, and I'm on the Ford Communications team here from Detroit, and we're here today just to talk a little bit about the Fiesta 1.0 liter. I know a lot of you guys haven't had a chance to get behind the wheels, or some of you for the first time was in the last couple of hours, so again, thank you for coming. And with us, we have Lisa Schoder, one of the heads on the marketing team for Fiesta and Focus. So she's just going to talk a little bit about the car, and we want to talk about, why we think the 1 liter is really proven within the Fiesta, how misconceptions about 3-cylinder engine are just not true, and how this car will surprise you once you get in it. So I'll hand over to Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us out. I really appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you this evening. I like the casual atmosphere. I did change into my flip-flops because I thought this was a flip-flop safe zone, so I got that vibe. But yeah, like Aaron said, I work on our global small vehicles. So I work on current model, Focus, and Fiesta, including our ST products, which for those of you who've experienced those, awesome, well done. As well as future products. So what we do, what's on the road today obviously informs what's on the road tomorrow. So I really like to get feedback from folks like you, feedback from consumers. So today, obviously, talking specifically with you about the 1 liter Fiesta. The Fiesta, just high level, we refreshed it for the 14 model year. New design, so obviously from a front end, you'll see the grille that takes on the new Ford DNA signature grille that we first saw on the Fusion, and that we're going to be seeing on the Focus for the 15 model year. Updates to wheels, packaging, technology features, but specifically for the big news on the 14 model, obviously, was the addition of the 1 liter EcoBoost and the ST product. So big in the powertrain is what are big moves for Fiesta for 14 model year. And why a 1 liter? As Aaron alluded, the 1 liter we used in products in Europe. Obviously, fuel economy being a big deal. Price of gas, 2-3 times as much as what we see here in the States. So fuel efficiency a big deal. And how that also correlates to our consumers here in the B segment, in the subcompact. Fuel economy is the #1 purchase reason. So you have to be going after fuel economy. That's why every manufacturer is always talking about fuel economy in vehicles like this. So it's kind of a price of entry type of a thing. They also look at, as a secondary purchase reason, is kind of that value and price equation. So we knew, okay, fuel economy #1, price and value #2. So how do we feed that into our product line? And that's where we came up with the 1 liter Fiesta. But we at Ford take a look at our small cars a little differently. We don't want them to just be fuel economy, econo boxes rolling down the road. We like to have a little fun. We like to play up the European tuning in our vehicle dynamics. We have some pretty great engineers that know how to tune some cars that are super fun to drive. So something unique about what you learn from consumers when they talk about their Fiestas is that they talk about the fuel economy, exceptionally satisfied with fuel economy. They talk about the price, it fits their budget, but they also talk about fun to drive, and that's something that really comes out in Ford vehicles more so than the competition. And I think for those of you that experience our vehicles, you can see how that kind of comes to life. So the 1 liter in this vehicle paired with a manual transmission. We knew that price being a big deal for our consumers. So obviously if you have a powertrain with an automatic transmission, that adds another layer of pricing to the consumer. And we looked at our Fiesta customers, and about 25% of Fiestas are already sold with a manual transmission. So we thought, okay, let's make it fun to drive, let's give great fuel efficiency, and a great value for our consumers. So adding in the 1 liter Fiesta, the 1 liter EcoBoost package is only a $995 option on the base Fiesta, above the base engine. And what's really another great story about it is that not only is it better fuel efficiency than the base engine, the 1.6 liter naturally aspirated, also better fuel economy. So it really is this perfect combination of bringing eco and boost to life in the 1 liter. So really, really super proud about that. Fun to drive. Again, the other good thing about it being not just an econo box, it's on our SE trim series, which is the mid-level. So it's not just the base series just where it's stripped down. This has some great content. You have sync standard. You have available, heated seats. You have the app link technology that goes into your smartphone to be able to use voice controls to control your apps like Pandora or NPR, different, and we're always looking at adding more apps that can be compatible. So, well-contented vehicle, exceptional fuel economy, and fun to drive. And that's our little 1-liter. Surprising, obviously, that it's a 3-cylinder. It's one of these things we talk a lot about whether we could do, the blind comparison with a naturally aspirated manual transmission 4-cylinder and a 3-cylinder EcoBoost. And I think that most people would never really realize it because it's so seamless. The engine is award-winning, again, proven in Europe, 2-time winner of International Engine of the Year. So, and that's something that no other engine has ever received. It's 2 times in a row. Next week they're awarding the next year's, and who knows? We could have a 3-peat on our hands. We're kind of waiting in the wings to hear what the news could be. But that's how proud of this engine we are. How we know it's proven, and we're introducing it on the Fiesta right now, and then in the 15 model year we're going to put it in the Focus as well. So great story. I think from what you experienced today, I hope you walked away with a good impression. Any questions you have at all, by all means, let me know.
I was wondering if you did focus consumer work rather than consumer attitudes about 3-cylinder engines, and if you found anything that was negative that you needed to work on.
I think it's all about the experience, and that's the onus is on us to help consumers understand and actually experience in an actual consumer event, or also, let's face it, you guys are thought leaders. You provide points of view. People want to understand what your thoughts are. You drive a lot of cars, so if we have your kind of stamp of approval, that can help build awareness, but it's also on us to build the awareness directly with consumers. But we didn't have anything specific coming at the negative. We just knew that there could be some doubts, just because people just wonder. They think 3 cylinders, and how's that going to move?
That many 2-stroke 3-cylinders.
Because I've heard some people say, gee, I don't think I'd ever drive anything smaller than a 6.
And I think it's all about experiences and getting people, what we've done with our whole portfolio with EcoBoost technology, downsizing vehicles, but not compromising on the performance. I think when people really experience that, they say, because most consumers, let's face it, some people don't even know what engine is in their vehicle. They're like, if we say, I don't know what it is, it drives, and then get it and it drives. So I think it's all about the experiences. As long as you make it a seamless experience to the consumer and it meets all of their needs, 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder.
It's the drivability.
It's the drivability. Sure.
Is this body used anywhere else besides U.S.?
The sedan?
Yeah.
They also use it in South America as well. Well, Canada, Mexico, South America.
This isn't actual size.
That's the actual size. Can you believe it?
Wow, that's amazing.
300 of them.
It really cranks out the power.
How much effect did the 25% take rate on the manual transmission, how much effect did that have on making the decision to use the engine? I mean, if the take rate had been low, had not been at 25%, would that have kind of precluded this from being part of the program?
I think it definitely plays a big role. But like I said, when we thought about the Fiesta consumer, and we do our research and understand what their purchase drivers are, we said let's make it as affordable as possible, let people experience it, and then we can always look at if we want to expand it and consider putting in an automatic if the need be. But for right now, we're really happy with the manual paired with it. I think it really delivers on that fun
It was
drive.
shockingly fun. Yeah, I drove the hatchback up there. I was kind of blown away by it, so it was really cool.
I love that. I'm going to use that shockingly.
Yeah, it was a real surprise.
It is. I think it is. It's
These are
surprising.
bang gears, so we better be careful.
Why the 5-speed versus the 6-speed?
Well, the Fiesta the manual transmission in the Fiesta is a 5-speed. So we just use the same transmission.
So that's just, but why not a 6-speed? Why not?
I think it's just that's the vehicle that had been engineered and it delivered on the target. Pardon me?
Globally, it's 5 feet.
With the EPA numbers you have on it, do you think people will be shopping these opposite hybrids?
I think it's certainly, you pose a very interesting point, because I think when it comes down to that affordability factor, when you're looking at this vehicle with a combined label of 36 and up to 43 on the highway versus a hybrid, you take into account that cost step function of a hybrid. I think certainly, again, we know that these consumers are price conscious as much as they are fuel efficient conscious. So certainly could, give some hybrids a run for their money.
How much is this car?
So the sedan version is with including destination is $16,915. So less comes under 17, and then the hatch is $500 more.
And
It's the average.
the way they're equipped, how much of the ones that we're driving, the way they're equipped out there, is that all like wheels?
Well, these wheels come with the package. So they're an aero, a more aerodynamic wheel. But the package is the engine, the aero wheels, a spoiler on the four-door, and the engine.
The AC is standard.
AC standard.
It's the average consumer age for, I guess, for the whole Fiesta.
For the whole Fiesta, yep.
We can make it up.
Yeah, it is.
Within 20.
It's somewhere. It's in the 40s
Okay.
on average. Obviously, as we distill down into some of the trim series, our ST average age
Sure.
is much younger, as you might imagine. But yeah, it's 40s. The interesting part about that is that some of the data sometimes doesn't tell the whole story, because a lot of parents purchase Fiestas for their children, but they're the ones filling out the survey and they're the ones financing, so that's the data that we get. So that's more when we go to customer clinics, we talk directly with consumers, that's where we get some of that anecdotal story to say, oh, well, it was the 45-year-old father who bought it for his 16-year-old. So the actual, what we do know about Fiesta is that it is it's one of the highest conquest vehicles in the Ford showroom, so we're bringing in consumers from other brands. And also now that we're seeing more of the cycle coming through, since we originally had it in 2011, we refreshed in 2014, we're seeing that loyalty come in now that customers, they were new when they came in on Fiesta, and they're staying in the Ford portfolio. Sometimes in another Fiesta, or sometimes they're growing into the next step, into a Focus or an Escape.
You know what brands are coming from the most?
The most, it tends to be imports, it tends to be Hondas, Toyotas. Part of that is just a function of the units in operation. But it's also a compelling vehicle because it kind of meets those needs that consumers are looking for.
What percentage of overall Fiesta sales do you think the 1 liter will be?
The 1 liter? I think we've been fairly conservative in what our expectations are, again, because it's new, it's, gotta have to kind of change some thoughts. So I think right now we haven't really set something in stone with regard to what the expectations are, but I will tell you it's been exceeding our expectations, the demand. And the way that we measure that, not only from the sales standpoint, meeting the sales objectives, but when we look at what dealers are ordering and what we can accommodate from a capacity standpoint, there's more demand than what we've been building. So we can look to increase production.
Expectations you haven't set.
Pardon me?
So
Well, we haven't said like, okay, we expect it to be this percent, but we've been very encouraged by the response.
The engine's assembled domestically, or are they assembled in Europe and shipped over? Or?
Yeah, engines are in Europe.
Okay.
They come over.
5-door versus the 4-door? Sales split, do you think?
About 60-40 sedan to hatch
Or
across the whole portfolio.
Curious if this basic engine is sold in other markets without the EcoBoost features added on.
A naturally aspirated
Yeah.
1 liter?
You know,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. We could double check.
just curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the lowest naturally aspirated we do is the 1.6.
You said you were gonna put it in the Focus. Now, would that be a standard only?
So like all of our EcoBoost engines, they can operate on regular or premium. We certify with premium. So all of the power torque figures are with premium as well as the EPA numbers. But you can run it safely without damaging the vehicle on regular.
Any other questions from you guys? You girls?
Go ahead, fun.
Just to let you guys know, there are one-pagers down here and a couple of the engines or whatnot.
Yeah, we have some more. We have these 3D replica printouts of the 1-liter engine. So what we're trying to spread is the message of small but mighty. Yeah, we have a sheet there that just compares the 1 liter to other items, leaf cover ants carrying 50 times their weight, etc., etc.
So it's 3D printed.
That is 3D printed.
You're
Yes.
producing engines on a 3D printer?
Not full for the car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there significance that, is that maybe
Like
more
making
rapid prototyping stuff?
I mean, we are expanding into that, but and that's
There's no symbolism involved here?
No.
Don't read too much into it, George.
Right. But yeah, we have more of those we can hand out too, but what we're just trying to get across in more of a consumer messaging way is that, you know, although this is a very small engine, 3-cylinder, it has a lot of power behind it, so both the graphics and the engine are supposed to represent that. Then also the paper document there is just the changes that we have for the new Fiesta, just some changes in wheels, body style, a little bit of that minor detail. And we have more of those there, so I would say if you want any of that, just let me know. If you want any more information, we're here, but happy for you guys to continue driving the vehicles if you want, or obviously after this, we're happy to talk as well, but just appreciate you guys coming and listening to us today. So,
Nice.
thank you.
Thank you.